Hello everyone, this is FlicksRevealed, and today we will dive into the plot of the Sector 7. The events take place in 1985 on an oil rig near Jeju Island. One of the workers descends in a submarine to fix a leak in Sector 7 of the oil rig. The man steps outside to inspect the rusty structure, but suddenly the ground beneath his feet cracks open. Small glowing creatures resembling larvae burst out from the depths. Enchanted by their beauty, the worker tries to touch them, but suddenly an underwater earthquake begins. The man desperately tries to hold onto the well, but at that moment, the swarm of small creatures viciously attacks him. 26 years later, after the tragic events, a new team of professional geologists is conducting work on the rig in search of oil reserves. A leak occurs in one of the wells, and the workers immediately set out to repair it. Chief Engineer Hajun, working alone, tightens the valves in the pipes, helping to reduce the pressure. During the repair, she accidentally injures her back. Eventually, they manage to fix the leak, but this situation reveals the serious problem in Sector 7 to the geologists. Due to severe contamination inside the well, all further efforts to search for oil deposits could be doomed to failure. Team Captain Jong accuses Hajun of wasting company resources on drilling in a problematic sector. However, the hot-tempered girl is confident that they are on the right path and insists on continuing the search. At the same time, a column of dirty water begins to rise from the site of the breakage, spewing out a small glowing creature. The team members inform geneticist Dr. Hajun Jong about this strange discovery, trying to determine its origin. The scientist explains that this unique life form can only survive and develop in an aquatic ecosystem where chemical reactions occur. In Dr. Hanyun Jong's laboratory, a clumsy worker named Chai-sun comes in and decides to take a closer look at the creature. The little monster instantly reacts by impaling his tongue claw into the poor guy's lip. After some time, the bite area swells significantly, causing disgust in Dr. Hanyun Jong. Nevertheless, the worker persistently tries to win the girl's favor by giving her a lighter as a gift. The captain informs the team that the management has ordered to conclude the search operation and evacuate the workers to the mainland. Over the past few months, they have explored Sector 7 from all sides, but failed to find any oil deposits. Hajun Jong adamantly refuses to leave the rig and angrily storms out of the meeting. Soo, Hajun's boyfriend, follows the upset girl to calm her down. She is deeply obsessed with finding oil but feels powerless due to broken equipment and an indifferent team. Most of the workers decide to end the search operation and return home. Jong-man, Hajun's uncle, returns to the oil rig after a break. With years of experience and expertise in the field, he intends to help the remaining part of the team find untapped oil wells. The team throws a welcome party for Jong-man. During the event, the conversation turns to stories about the scars each team member obtained during their hazardous work on oil rigs. Captain Jong proudly remarks that he has no injuries thanks to following safety protocols. The captain's words touch Hajun, who believes that theoretical knowledge doesn't always save you in real danger. She can't share in the general merriment. Looking sadly at an old childhood photo of herself with her father and uncle, Jong-man notices her melancholy and decides to support her. It turns out that Hajun's father disappeared without a trace 26 years ago during a repair operation at sea. That's why she is so obsessed with finding oil to continue his legacy. Later, Jong-man meets privately with Captain Jong and convinces him to continue working on the oil rig, taking full responsibility for the operation. The joyful news from Jong-man lifts the team's spirits. Each of them leaves their handprint on the equipment as a memento, and they resume work. Thus, the difficult weeks begin, during which the team tirelessly continues drilling the well, facing various challenges. However, under Jong-man's leadership, the workers don't lose their fighting spirit and believe in the imminent success. Hajun, along with a young worker, dives to the depths to seal a crack in the well. At that moment, an unknown slimy creature moves across the rig and accidentally hits the winch to which the divers are attached. As a result of the unexpected jerk, the young worker accidentally fires a harpoon and the bullet ricochets, injuring him in the lake. The guy starts to panic, and he rapidly falls to the bottom. The workers above try to reel in the rope, but it's already too late. The young man shows no signs of life. However, they manage to bring unconscious Hajun back to the surface. When she regains consciousness, she begins to hysterically blame herself for not being able to save her young colleague. After some time, concerned Dr. Hajun Jong visits her friend to find out what happened at the depths. Their conversation is interrupted by Soo and Jong Man, and she hastily leaves Hajun's room. Standing at the top of the platform, the doctor absently twirls a lighter in her hands. Her admirer, Chai Sung, joins her and persistently pursues her. Lower down, the worker brothers observe the couple, making disdainful comments about the man's behavior. Hajun visits the workplace of the worker who passed away. She looks sadly at their joint photo when suddenly a new tremor occurs. The second accident of the day causes panic among the workers. The captain insists that the accident be recorded as if the girl took her own life. Suddenly, Dr. Hemawon-jung discovers traces of male biological liquid on Heejun's body, immediately suspecting Chae-sung. The enraged worker brothers find the culprit and brutally punish him for his actions. Afterward, they show him the mutilated body of Dr. Hyun-jong. However, Chae-sung, upon seeing it, looks genuinely surprised and saddened. He swears that he didn't harm his beloved. Upon careful examination of the found fluid, the doctor realizes that its composition doesn't resemble human biological material. In her room, Hajun tells Sung that her friend wanted to talk to her about something before the accident. Suspecting something amiss, she heads to Dr. Hyun-jong's laboratory in search of evidence. Hearing strange sounds, she rushes out into the corridor, where she sees slime dripping down the pipes. At that moment, the doctor is analyzing Chae-sung's DNA. When someone suddenly knocks on the door of his office, no one enters, so he goes to see the midnight visitor. The next second, his life is unexpectedly cut short. Hajun continues to explore the rig, feeling increasing unease. She unexpectedly encounters Captain Jong in a frightened state, who informs her about what happened to the doctor. The concerned team gathers in the medical room, where evidence of a brutal attack on the medic remains. However, the doctor's body has disappeared, and the main suspect, Chae-sung, is locked inside a water reservoir. The team decides that the man must have somehow escaped, and they head towards him, seeking to vent their anger. But they are unaware that something terrible has reached the worker before them. The team discovers lifeless Chae-sung among the reservoirs. Hajun approaches him, but the man suddenly regains consciousness and grabs her hand in horror. She persistently tries to find out what happened from him. With a mad voice, Chae-sung says that a monster lives on the oil rig. A storm begins outside, and the platform trembles from the impact of the waves. Taking advantage of the situation, Chae-sung escapes, and the team sets off in pursuit. With a trembling hand holding an axe, the worker moves forward down the corridor. Suddenly, an enraged, gigantic monster appears before him. Meanwhile, Hajun and Sung discover the monster's lair, where it drags the bodies of its lifeless victims. Shocked, the couple returns to the command center and informs the team about the horrifying discovery. Unfortunately, due to the storm, they have lost contact with the outside world, and there is no one to help them. Yumin is confident that the monster will soon start hunting them, so he intends to destroy it first. Armed, he, along with the other team members, sets out in search of the slippery creature. The monster appears in one of the corridors and attacks the two brothers with its sharp tongue. Yumin shoots into the creature's mouth, causing it to loosen its grip and pain, allowing the workers to break free from its clutches. Hajun and her uncle continue to shoot at the monster, seriously injuring it, causing it to release an abnormal liquid. Despite its wounds, the creature relentlessly approaches them. It seems like their end is near, but at that moment, Youngmin throws a lit lighter at the monster. The creature instantly ignites, emitting a horrifying scream of pain. Taking advantage of the chaos, the team tries to escape on the elevator. To everyone's surprise, the monster doesn't stop. Its long tongue descends down the elevator shaft, forcing all passengers to press against the wall. Sensing the red liquid dripping down the injured worker's leg, it prepares to strike again. However, at that moment, Hajun fiercely chops off its tongue with an axe. The wounded monster lets them go, but each of the workers realizes that its hunt is not over. The team arrives at the laboratory, where they tend to the injured. Captain Young observes Youngmin with a hint of suspicion and proposes a shocking hypothesis. He notices that the liquid oozing from the monster's body closely resembles oil. The captain is convinced that his colleague had encountered a similar creature before and decided to throw a lighter at it, knowing that the monster would easily catch fire. Instead of offering an explanation, Yunmin smashes one of the aquariums and retrieves the small creature that He Nanjiang had been studying. He sets it on fire using a burner and sinks into memories of the past. Many years ago, he and Heijun's father discovered a new life form in the water, whose bodily fluids could burn for over 30 hours. They had stumbled upon a new fuel source that could turn Korea into an oil-rich nation and make the brothers fabulously wealthy. However, things didn't go as planned when the offspring began to grow and destroy Heijun's father. After the tragic incident, the oil extraction work on the rig was halted. Sector 7, where the new life form was discovered, was turned into a secret research facility. Their scientists spent years cultivating the monster using oil and studying its behavior. Last year, oil rig operations were resumed, and Yunmin was the only one aware of the danger lurking in Sector 7. However, he decided not to share this information with the other workers. Finally, the creature managed to break free from the reservoir where it was kept, and Dr. He Nanjiang became aware of it. She was planning to tell the team the whole truth, but during an argument, Yunmin accidentally pushed her off the roof. With tears in her eyes, Heijun can't believe that her beloved uncle turned out to be a real monster. Yunmin admits his guilt and says that the team needs to prepare for evacuation urgently. However, they have already lost precious time, and the monster is on their trail. Once again, the team has to flee, but the enraged beast manages to grab Yunmin. Feeling guilty for what has happened, he accepts his fate and asks his niece not to save him. The team splits up, and Heijun, along with Su, heads to the monster's lair to launch the submarine. The captain and the two brothers hurry to evacuate, but they encounter the creature. Terrified, Jung locks himself in the room with the submarine, refusing to let anyone in. The hungry monster hunts them down, depriving them of their lives one by one. Captain Jung dives into the submarine, not waiting for Heijun and Su. Suddenly, he notices the body of one of the brothers, lifelessly banging against the window. The man screams in horror, unaware of the worst that awaits him ahead. The monster bursts inside, destroying the captain and any chance of survival for the remaining team members. Yunmin manages to survive the battle with the monster and activates the bomb, which is supposed to detonate the raid platform. It is the only way to send a signal to the mainland, so he decides to take this desperate step. Hearing the alarm sounds, Heijun and Su rush to the command center to deactivate it, but only the captain can do that. Yunmin goes out onto the open platform and launches a signal flare, attracting the creature's attention. The dangerous monster emerges, filled with an insatiable desire to tear the next victim apart. A new confrontation ensued, and Yunmin uses a gas torch to ignite and temporarily disorient the creature. Seizing this opportunity, he plunges the pipe's tip deep into the monster. Heijun and Su watch in horror, already knowing how it will end. Yunmin casts a final glance at his beloved niece and resolutely sets himself and the monster on fire. The burning creature intends to return to the water, but decides to take Su with it. Heijun tries to save her beloved, but she is too late, and he plummets downward. Shocked, the girl approaches the edge of the platform, where she finds relief in seeing that Su managed to grab onto a rope. To pull him up, Heijun attaches the end of the rope to a motorcycle and accelerates towards him. Her plan works, and Su returns to the platform, but the joy of their reunion is short-lived. The charred monster appears behind Su and throws him aside, shifting its focus to Heijun. In an attempt to save her, Su throws himself at the monster barehanded, trying to restrain it. The beast tosses his body into the air like a toy and ruthlessly tears him apart. Heijun is left alone with the merciless monster. She tries to escape on the motorcycle, but the monster's speed proves too high. In a desperate attempt to survive, the girl decides to take a risk and jumps off the motorcycle, directing it towards the monster. A spark ignites, engulfing it in flames. However, contrary to her expectations, the monster stands up and continues its hunt. The chase leads them to an oil drilling rig where Heijun, using all available means, tries to defend herself against the monster. She lures the monster to the center of the platform and swiftly lowers the drilling bit down. Although it temporarily immobilizes the monster, it still manages to grab onto the girl's leg. Hae-jun, exerting incredible effort, reaches the activation button and activates the drilling bit. The monster shudders one last time and no longer shows signs of life. Hae-jun begins to sob in horror, having endured the terrors of this night, but she has no time for emotions as the rig starts to explode. She escapes the blast wave by riding the motorcycle, jumping off with it into the water. As soon as she hits the water, a helicopter with rescuers approaches the drilling rig in response to the distress signal. After some time, Hae-jun dives underwater again and approaches the oil well. She sadly studies the inscriptions left on it by her team members, whose lives tragically ended in Sector 7. The movie ends here. On behalf of FlicksRevealed, I thank you all for watching. Subscribe to the channel, give it a like and suggest your films in the comment section down below, and we will try to please you with quality content as often as possible. See you very soon.